Timing now, city by city across sections of the Northeast, so you know when to expect the weather. I know Mark just told us the what. Scranton, Pennsylvania right now dealing with a little bit of freezing rain. We also have some of that freezing rain along I-80 around Bloomsburg, Hazleton as well. So getting around that Northeast extension corridor, that's where we are seeing some troubles in terms of some of the freezing rain. You can see snow for plenty of those areas up into northeastern PA and the southern tier of the state of New York. So again, we're looking at the 81 corridor, northern part of the Northeast extension with that possibility of freezing rain sticking with us over a few hours. We're going to be watching for a few slick spots, but you can see by the time we get to about 9 o'clock, now we're dealing with rain showers for many. Still some pockets here and there, but becoming less widespread as far as the freezing rain is concerned. And then into the overnight, everybody making that transition to rain with temperatures warming into the low 40s in Scranton and Newport, up to Binghamton as well. Binghamton dropping to 33 by Saturday afternoon, but you can see at that point the precip has already moved out and we are done with the wintry weather. Confidence of a tenth of an inch or more of ice here across parts of Pennsylvania. Looking at a medium chance in Scranton, but as we head over the state line into southern parts of New York, generally to the east of Binghamton, we're talking about Fleischmann's. These are areas where we've got a higher confidence that we could be looking at maybe a few localized power outages and slick road conditions. Quarter inch or more of ice, medium risk there around the Fleischmann's area north of Smallwood. But for places like Scranton, Forest City, and Binghamton, low chance of that. So we're not looking at the likelihood of big ice accumulations. And when we look at Albany as we go into tomorrow morning, we're going to be looking at the low possibility of a tenth of an inch or more of ice. So less likely that we see higher accumulations there. We'll see some freezing rain here move into Albany as we go into the overnight hours. You can see rain, some freezing rain. Albany, I think more likely than not, you'll spend most of your time in the rain. But again, outside of town, some pockets where we do have some freezing rain likely. And so there is a chance that there could be a few slick areas, maybe a little bit of light icy glaze on some objects, maybe around your home. We take you up into parts of Vermont as we get into the evening, late evening. Snow begins to move in there. Mike?
Well, we do have...
Now, you know, we've been talking about how incredible the damage and power outage, the expansiveness of power outages can come from ice storms. Well, coming up next hour, we're going to hear from the Oklahoma Power Company that had to try and restore service after the storm and find out why this was one of the most difficult operations they had seen in some time. Mike?
Yeah.
Freezing rain across sections of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and western Maryland. Also, 81 corridor of the state of Virginia getting in on some of that right now. So watch for the pockets across parts of Virginia, a little bit more widespread as you get into the central and eastern part of Pennsylvania. Looking at the northeast extension, the I-80 corridor, as well as the Pennsylvania Turnpike east to west across, say, from areas around Harrisburg, farther off to the west as you head over towards Bedford Springs area. You could be dealing with some icy patches. Same for I-68 there through western Maryland into parts of West Virginia. Icy in Scranton right now. You've got the freezing rain also in Binghamton. Now the temperature in Scranton says 33, but surrounding areas have dipped at or below the freezing mark, and so that's why that ice could become an issue here over the next few hours. Ice in the forecast as we go through the next hour or two. I think we begin to make that switch to more of a rain-snow mix. Maybe a little sleet mixing in, and then eventually rain or snow will be the norm as we head into the overnight. You can see that rain taking over across Binghamton and Scranton areas, also Albany, but interior sections of the Northeast, you have snow that will continue as we move through the evening, overnight, and by tomorrow morning, moving on out. So a lot of it falling while you're sleeping, and you won't even be around to see it by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, beginning to see some more clearing out there above overhead. When we look at the ice amounts confidence, quarter inch or more, looking at a medium risk across sections of the southern tier of New York, also near the Capital District, but for the most part, a low opportunity. So this is not going to be an expansive ice issue, a lot of ice, but still, some slick spots, maybe a localized power outage, Mike, a possibility.
Something to keep an eye on.
Weather Underground watching plenty of active weather across the east, including thunderstorms moving through parts of Georgia, South Carolina. As we get into Virginia, parts of the Northeast, we've got freezing rain and then snow still moving through parts of the Ohio Valley, really, I guess, the Great Lakes region into the Midwest and the Northeast. Ohio Valley actually seeing a little bit of a break right now. We get you back into parts of Missouri where it's snow falling at this point. So we've moved from the freezing rain to snow. St. Louis at 34 with some light snow showers. Davenport, Iowa, still reporting a bit of freezing rain there, but surrounding areas getting in on the snow. Grand Rapids, freezing rain, temperature of 29 degrees. So going to watch for some slick spots still this evening. Detroit, you've seen freezing rain around the area, but at this point, rain for you with a temperature of 33 degrees. It's a miserable evening to be out and about. It's a cold rain coming down, but it's not freezing there in Metro Detroit. We look at the Northeast and areas where you see the pink, that's the freezing rain. So a bit more widespread here across parts of Pennsylvania into West Virginia and Virginia, Maryland, and parts of New York State as well. So we're continuing to watch the possibility that roads could be a little dicey at times, slick in spots, particularly those bridges and overpasses. State College, you're at 32 with freezing rain. Scranton, you've seen freezing rain. Binghamton as well around the area. Harrisburg at 33, but plenty of surrounding locations still getting in on the freezing rain. Down into the south, we've got a tornado warning here along the Georgia-South Carolina state line. That one warned until the top of the hour. What do we got? Columbia County, Lincoln County, Edgefield County, and McCormick County. So if you're in these areas, lowest level, most interior room where you want to be. We've been watching this line of storms, and along it, some tornado warnings being issued. Mike?
All right.
Watch. I want to give you the timing for some of these Northeast cities so you know when to expect the what that Mark just went over. Right now, Fallsburg in New York, you've got snow. We get to Stroudsburg in Pennsylvania, parts of the Poconos. You're right on the edge of that freezing rain. Also some wintry mix in there, so may get some areas of sleet as well. Scranton, you've got the freezing rain. Although the temperature reporting around 33, there are plenty of areas where we're at or below freezing, and we're getting that ice accumulation. Bloomsburg, you're dealing with the freezing rain. Around Hazleton, freezing rain. So the I-80 corridor, northeast extension of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, these are going to be problem spots out there for you. I don't anticipate widespread icing, but some slick spots here and there, absolutely a possibility. Moving forward in time, we're going to see more of that wintry mix. So maybe some areas of sleet in addition to some snowflakes mixing in with the raindrops. By the time we get into the late evening and overnight, really midnight especially and beyond, you can see rain takes over as those surface temperatures warm above the 30s, actually into the low 40s as we head into tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, still in the 40s in a place like Scranton, but dry. So things turn quieter into the daytime hours of your Saturday. Ice amounts confidence. When we talk about how likely it is that we'll see 1/10 of an inch or more when it comes to ice, Scranton, you're in that medium risk, high chance as we get up along the state line between New York and Pennsylvania to the northeast of Forest City, getting to Fleischmann's. These are areas where we're pretty confident that 1/10 of an inch of ice is likely. So that means these areas are where I would expect bridges and overpasses to be slick, maybe your front or back porch to be icy, and even some localized power outages could be an issue. We look at 1/4 inch or more, only a medium chance of that, so lesser likelihood that we're looking at heavier icing amounts, but still possibility that in a few spots. So again, I wouldn't rule out a power outage. I wouldn't rule out the road conditions being tricky here over the next several hours. Albany, a place that will see some freezing rain here through the evening, but low risk that we see any significant accumulation. Mike?
Now we're going to